Okay, there's some very key terms, girls, that you should avoid at all costs. And these are things like thermometers, mucus consistency, what else?
Ovulation windows.
Ovulation windows. Girls love to talk about their mucus levels being spot on. They love to talk about, there's a fire in the hole, the egg's ready to go, all these types of things.
Here's the point. Don't talk about it.
Just don't. Because that is as unsexy as it comes. Once again, it comes back down to he's expected to perform. There's a small window of opportunity and he's got to be on the job. We're trying to make him feel like a prize steed, not a prize goat. So, girls, just when you're thinking those terms, don't mention them.
Simple as that.
Take your temperature, check your mucus.
As simple as that.
That's it. No
That's
more.
it.
Enough said. Lingerie. Now, we've put some posts on some sites and asked girls what they think about spicing things up by buying the lingerie. And sure, for some guys, they're not particularly fast either way. But I think if there's nothing like a new set of undies, Tombo.
Well, look, I know for you, lingerie works. For me, no undies at all is something that works beautifully for me.
Undies on the floor.
Yeah,
but
correct.
It's still nice to know that the little ladies
They've helped out. They've helped out.
Look, I think a big point for a lot of couples is when you're trying to get pregnant, if you've been together for quite some time, there's a very good chance that the frequency with which you're having sex has gone from a lot when you started out.
It's not uncommon.
To not a lot. So
Yep.
now we need to spice things up a little bit, get him interested, and we don't want him to think that you're treating him like James Bond just because you want him to inseminate him. And that's what I'm saying is over the course of the month, you need to be doing different things at different times, not just on those 3 days when you're ovulating, as an enticement to have sex.
That's
he needs
exactly
to
right.
feel that you want to be with him,
Yep.
and that he's having sex with you because you want to be together, not just for the sake of having a baby.
It's a good point. It's a very good point.
The next one's a little bit contentious. Tombo, do you want to do this
Well,
one?
look, this was something that Sam wrote down, and I think, I think it does certainly have potential. But it is for girls to, well, how else do we say this? Play with themselves.
I guess what it comes down to this, Tombo, is that once a guy knows that he is supposed to be having sex for the purposes of making babies, I guarantee you there's a pretty good chance that he's going to come up with an excuse. I've got a headache, or I'm going to play footy tomorrow, or, too many beers, whatever. So the key here is that if he knocks himself back, doesn't mean you have to knock yourself back, and no man likes to miss out on a party.
Correct. I agree. I challenge any guy out there to knock back their partner in this situation.
Girls, have a think about it.
Yeah. Possibly a bit contentious, but something that I think is a winner.
This one follows on nicely. Point 7, when when you're in the window, and even though we're trying to disguise it, you're trying to have sex with him 2 or 3 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you can get a sneaky one away, which he doesn't even consider as towards that 2 or 3, he doesn't really realise what's going on. I think a tap on the shoulder or in the nether regions, very, very early in the morning or in the middle of the night.
So what are you saying? Take advantage of your man when he's at his dopiest.
Correct.
Okay.
Hopefully he'll have sex with you when you're asleep. It'll be a lot more pleasurable for you. He won't even count it, and you might still be able to get 2 or 3 away the next day.
Yep. So the midnight or middle of the morning tap on the shoulder.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that can really work.
Yep.
And I think our last point here is, I think a lot of women forget that when you're being inseminated, you're obviously asking your man to have an orgasm. Now, if your partner was demanding that you had an orgasm every time you had sex for a particular period, you might find it A, not particularly sexy, or B, that it might inhibit you from actually having sex because you're thinking about it too much.
Correct.
So I think you've got to give the fellas a little bit of leeway and understand that not every time that you have sex is he going to orgasm. Now that's a bit of I think most people think when guys have sex they always do, but as we've said, this is a tectonic shift in your man's plates in his head, and things are going to be going a little screwy.
That's exactly right. So if you've got these issues that are in your head as a fella, the likelihood that he is going to produce every single time reduces.
So, be easy on him and be a little bit understanding. And as I say, if you take away that pressure, if you take away that this is game day, I think you won't have a problem on that front.
Yep.
But if you do slip up and he does know that he's physically trying to inseminate, you just understand that it could be an issue.
Yep.
Well, I think that's it, Tombo. I think we got all 10 out. Girls, we'd love to know what you think. drop us a line at info@beingdadusa.com. And there'll be a link after this to our blog post, so you can print these off and have a little think about them. And just let us know.
Thanks for watching.
Bye now.